Quaid Azam, part 377. I beg your pardon, 378. Because of Jinnah's continued rigidity, his fixed stand on an ever-increasing charter of demands for the Muslims, an ever larger share of power for them in the independent India, personal relations and particular temperaments obviously bulk large. And if one sees partition as a consequence of clash of political judgments, then clearly Jinnah and Nehru are central to how this clash ultimately got defined and how it finally brought about this great tragedy. A counter to such observation asserts that the notion of partition being the consequence of any one single set of human interactions is totally wrong, for its unacceptable, simplistic temperaments, personalities, and characters obviously played a very important role. Like, for instance, this abrasive friction between Jinnah and Nehru, also their continuing hostility. However, that simply could not have been the only factor that resulted in our partition. I beg your pardon, please. I beg your pardon, please. Yet Nehru continues to be blamed for India's drift to partition and cited as illustrative of this are at different moments is totally incomprehensible tactlessness, so often childish, impetuously bordering on the naive, but can only these be held as the factors responsible. What certainly pushed the situation towards the partition was Nehru's inability to restrain himself, to always give his views to the press, and in a manner that almost on every occasion generated huge contention and multiple controversies, wiping out all earlier achievements. Time and again this happened prior to independence. Sadly, it happened on several critical occasions post-partition too, but that is another account. Late in 1943, in his Ahmednagar jail diary, Nehru had privately given words to his views about Quaid. Jinnah offers an obvious example of an utter lack of the civilized mind. With all his cleverness and ability, he produces an impression on me of utter ignorance and lack of understanding and even capacity to understand this world and its problems. Instinctively, I think it is better to give Pakistan or almost anything if only to keep Jinnah far away and not allow his muddled and arrogant head from interfering continually in India's progress. With such extreme views, what else could have followed but an extremely painful separation? Yet that certainly contributed, but what else? Where does the center of gravity of India's partition lie? Was it the Quit India movement of 1942-43?